Okay. And let's just bring it all back up. I didn't want to take a long break. So, do I want to help? I think we're going to help Glory first. So where's the fucking van? It must be in the safe house. No, it's just me and Glory. Let's rock and roll. This is the final hour of the stream, by the way. Feuerstelle. The drive from the Kreutz Bazaar to Schönbuck Forest was a long one. For over 6 hours, you and Glory rode in relative silence, with only the sound of the road for company. Now you find yourself crouching in the woods, watching, waiting. Off in the distance, the rustic exterior of Feuerstelle looks curiously warm and inviting, but you know what's waiting inside. The anticipation churns at your guts. Eventually, a van pulls out of the compound's driveway and rolls along a service road before disappearing from view. Glory gives a nod and begins to scramble toward the building. The harrow has left, and it's time for you to make your way inside. Okay. This is going to be interesting. The weathered edifice of Feuerstelle looms above you, dark and sinister in the cold air night. Despite the horrifying stories that Glory told you about the place, something about it feels strangely comforting. The back of your mind, insidious voices whisper that you could stay here forever. Do you feel it? The lure of this place? Glory gestures with a limb of chrome and steel. When I was a kid, when I was whole, the pull was irresistible. Yeah, I feel it. That doesn't change what we have to do. No. No, it doesn't. She looks at you. Her eyes are dark. When she speaks again, her voice is quiet and steady. You're going to see some terrible things in this place, Fox. Feuerstelle still exists to prey on the young. We're going to have to come face to face with that. Are you prepared for this? I'm as ready as I'm gonna be. She studies my face for a moment longer and then looks away. Good. I'm gonna compare notes to make sure we're on the same page. She nods. We save the street kids and runaways that are living here. We take them away from this place before Harrow can turn them into monsters. We keep them from following in my footsteps. Okay. This is your run, Glory. I'm just here to help you see it through. What should we do first? Harrow keeps a shrine in the compound. It's the key to his control over the cultists. We're going to purify the shrine and break that control. And we're going to lead those kids out of here. It's some sort of something like that. But it sounds more it'll be more complicated than it sounds. The shrine itself is just a hunk of rock. Its power comes from the entity that Harrow bound into the stone. Something very old, very dangerous, toxic spirit. It is in many ways the heart of this place. The voices that you hear whispering in the back of the mind, those are the spirit's voices. It saps the will of anyone who sets foot on these grounds. We can't save these kids until the shrine is dealt with. They'll fight us if we try. Okay, let's hash out a few more details. Makes sense. If you have any other questions, it'd be best to ask them now. How do we purify the spirit? Something like that. It'll be easier to just show you. I've got everything we'll need here. She pats the satchel that hangs from her shoulder. When the time comes, I'll conduct the ritual. Before I can do that, I'm going to have to face the spirit on my own terms. That's going to be dangerous, Fox. Why don't we just kill it? The spirit has its fingers in the minds and auras of every kid in this compound. If we kill it, those kids will get hurt. They might even be killed. We can't take that risk. But if we cleanse the adversary's corruption from it, it might draw their minds willingly. Now we can get promoted here. Exactly. Flesh flush is red. I wish that were true, but it isn't. Back before I ran away, Feuerstelle was nothing more than a cult of personality that revolved around Harrow. He didn't need magical help to keep us here. We loved him and we believed in his message. He created the shrine as an insurance policy. I should have read what I had said to Glory. I said to her something about, like, her not having to feel guilty about shit because of the shrine. Do you think something has changed and he started abusing the shrine's power? She nods. Yes, I think my escape was the cause of that change. I know Harrow. When I ran, I bruised his ego. His charisma and charm had failed him. My disappearance rubbed his nose in that failure. He wouldn't be willing to chance something like that happening again. Not when he had means to prevent it. So the cultists here, they're like puppets. The shrine controls them? Not exactly. It's more insidious than that. Think of the shrine's influence as a drug. It lowers your inhibitions, makes you compliant. If you were to stay here for a couple days, you'd fall in love with the place. And you wouldn't even know why. All of Harrow's bullshit would start to make sense. You'd be happy. In essence, all of the street clubs kids are addicted to this place. That makes them a threat, yes, but it also makes them victims. Okay. I'm with you. Let's do this. So it doesn't look like we have anywhere else to go but in here. The doorway shimmers with a faint red light. As you approach the door, you can feel a squirming sensation in the back of your skull. Your limbs begin to tingle, then feel heavy. The closer that you get to the doorway, the more a struggle is to continue forward. It feels as though strength is being siphoned from your body. Step back. As you step away from the door, the crawling sensation gradually recedes. A moment later, the strength returns to your limbs. Glory stares into the light, frowning. The shrine room is still through here. But the barrier wasn't here before. Harrow must have warded the doorway after I ran. How did we get through? I need more willpower. The ward is like a lock. There must be a key. Back when I helped Harrow run this place, he and I were the only ones allowed in the shrine room. So we look for whoever has taken my place. That's where the key will be. How will we know who has it? It'll be a girl. Harrow would never take a male as his second. He wouldn't want the competition. And her hair will be fire red. Sort of a insignia rank within this cult. Girl with red hair. Got it. Okay. Music's really sad. You can hear distant murmuring sound coming from inside the room. Voices. 3, maybe 4 people all talking amongst themselves. Can't make out what they're saying, but one of the voices sounds desperate. You heard this tone before. It's a man pleading for his life. One of the cultists in there could have the key we need. Maybe, but that's a big if. I I can guarantee you that if we open the door, they're going to attack us, key or no. And then we'll have no choice but to kill them. Oops. I clicked out of the window. Remember, these are people that we're here to save. I don't want to hurt them if I don't have to. At the very least, we should search through the rest of the compound first. Put my ear to the door. I'm not leaving without knowing what's going on in that room. Strain your ears to hear the people in the other room. As you focus, the sounds crystallize and become clear. You shouldn't have come here. The tools of the government aren't welcome at Feuerstelle. It's a soft sound, and you recognize it instantly. A blade being drawn from its sheath. We have a use for people like you. Please, think about this. I have kids at home, not much younger than you. The voice is low and full of dread. I'm not here to represent any government. I'm not a threat to you. I was only doing my job. You're wearing a uniform, and that makes you a tool. And a pawn, and our enemy. Harrow said so. I'm just a park ranger. I'm only here to do a wildlife survey. I didn't even know you people were out here. But now you do. And if you leave this place, others will find out. You brought this on yourself. No, please! Voice dissolves into a long, piercing scream. Well, I mean, he's kind of fucked already, so... Your voice is speaking in low tones through the wood of the door. You can't make out the words, but the regular courses of rough laughter tell you that the people on the other side are enjoying themselves. These voices belong to Harrow's acolytes. They'll have some magical training, and they like hurting people. You open that door and you're going to have a fight on your hands. The girl who has the key in there? Yes, it's a definite possibility. When I was Harrow's second, I practically lived in that room. What is it, a dorm? A lounge or something? Her mouth tightens. You could call it that. A special place for the inner circle. It's the acolytes and the big girls and Harrow's wives. Marta and I used to spend a lot of time in there. We're going in. Be ready. What the fuck? Okay. Okay, let's skip ahead to Glory. Damn, I thought I'd be out of the way. Let's get some fucking cover then. Damn, damn, damn.
Oh!
Damn it. Damn it! Stop missing! Like, holy shit, stop missing. There we go. There's something I want to see. Okay, well then let's go look at the fucking picture. Hanging against the wall, you find a grainy photograph that has been mounted to a wooden panel. The wood looks like it's been recovered from a construction site. It's rough, splintery stuff, and there are a few nails just jutting out of it at odd angles. The photo depicts a pair of teenage girls in ratty clothes posing against a forested backdrop. The two are entwined in a loving embrace. One is leaning in to plant a kiss on the other's cheek, and the other one is smiling. The smiling girl has a head of fire red hair. Well, I'm thinking it's pretty obvious that it takes a moment to realize that you're looking at the fire-haired girl is Glory. In the picture, she looks vibrant, happy, and alive. You don't recognize the other girl's face, but from what Glory has told you of her past, you guess it's probably Marta. Glory stares at the photo, her face devoid of expression. After a moment, she closes her eyes. Look good as a redhead. Her mouth twists into a joyless smile. I certainly thought so. I did it for him, you know. Sign of devotion. All I wanted to do was please him. Of course, now I realize what it was. It was like Harrow's way of marking me as his property. Like a dog pissing on a tree. Goddamn fool I was. A glint of light catches something small and delicate hanging from one of the nails in the wood. Leaning in, you see a object clearly, a thin ring made out of braided silver wire. Glory, what's this ring? Marta gave that to me on the day that this photo was taken. She said she made it for me. I left it behind when I left this place. Marta still has feelings for you. Have you been paying attention? Marta never cared about me. She was bait. It was her job to lure me here. Me and 100 other kids like me. The ring doesn't mean anything. And why did she keep it? I don't know. She stares at the ring for a long moment, then snatches it from the picture frame and tucks it into her satchel. It was mine, so I'm taking it. Now let's keep moving. Are we getting disguises? A dirty, torn shirt lies discarded on the ground. The fabric is splattered in blood. No. Initiative must have worn that in here. It's way too small for an acolyte. Voice is soft and sad. Maybe he did something to offend Harrow. Or maybe a member of the inner circle was in the mood for sport. Doesn't matter either way. The owner of this shirt doesn't need it anymore. You know, if we had, like, disguises or something, it might be a little easier. Both girls. I don't know why that really matters, because there are men acolytes. But I'm sure that, like, if we were disguising ourselves, this would be far stealthier of a mission. Interesting. Van. Where he pauses at the side of the van. She traces the side of it with a claw. I remember cruising the back alleys of Tubingen, looking for kids in need of help. The bait girls, Marta, and the others like her, would offer them money, or food, or drugs, or sex. Whatever it took to get them into the van. Once they piled in, Harrow and I would be waiting to greet them. I remember so many nights like that, she frowns. Remember how much I used to enjoy it. Coming back here shows integrity, Glory. Left to my own devices, I probably wouldn't have. You pushed me to do this, to find some semblance of redemption. I owe you for that. You don't owe me anything. She shrugs. Tell yourself whatever you like. We both know the truth. Come on, let's keep moving. Right, was there anything on the other side of the van? No, okay. This whole area has me kind of tense right now, because it's like, it's just me and Glory. This is the initiated dormitory. The new arrivals are brought here. Still hope for these kids. Arvin had a chance to ruin them. Good to know. We'll try to get them out of here. Glory raises a hand, suddenly alert. Wait, listen. Movement in the other room. You listen closely. Strain your ears to listen. Soft voices from inside the room come drifting out a nearby vent. You hear a woman's voice. The sound is crisp and smooth and sweet. It instantly puts you at ease. Calm now, dear. It's probably nothing. No need to worry yourself. We're so far off the beaten track, we don't get a lot of visitors. Out of the corner of your eye, you see Glory's back stiffen. She flinches as though she's been stung. Another voice, high-pitched and pleading, an adolescent boy. But what if there is someone? What if the bad people have found us? What if they followed me here and they've come too? A female voice cuts in, soft and comforting. Well then, we'll send them away. You're perfectly safe here, and you have to believe that. Don't worry, dear heart. Harrow won't let anyone hurt you, not here, not in this place, not ever again. I'm guessing that's Marta. And is as if on cue, you hear another boy's voice, this one deeper. Are you certain, Marta? Positive. Be calm, all of you. As long as you're here with us, nothing bad will happen to you. Is that your Marta, Glory? She gives a curt nod. Not mine. Harrow's. But she's the Marta for my story, yes. What do you want to do? Glory pauses and grits her teeth. Finally, she spits out an answer. If she's still here, she'll be Harrow's number one. My old position. He had his way with all of us, but he was always sweet on Marta. That means she'll have the key to the shrine room. In that case, we're going to have to find a way to get it away from her. Yes, but not here, not now. Those kids in here, they'll die for her. They already love her, that's what she does. We can't risk confronting her in that room. If the situation turns ugly, any one of those kids will happily eat a bullet for her. And that's not what I came here for. Let's wait until Marta leaves and follows her. Glory nodded. Marta's voice floats back through the vent. Hush now, boys. And get some rest. You've got a big day tomorrow. The biggest day of your lives. You get to meet Harrow. I promise you. If you speak to him, you'll see the world in a whole different way. A better way. The adolescent voice trembles out a response. Oh, all right, Marta. Have a good night. You too, dear heart. All of you. You hear the distant sound of a door sliding shut. Glory takes a deep breath and releases it. The coast is clear. We can handle the initiatives. They're just a bunch of scared kids. Without Marta there to egg them on, they won't try anything. No time to live the present. The initiate closest to the door whips his head up to you. He takes a stutter step backwards in alarm and opens his mouth to cry for help. You don't want to do that. Glory looks deep into the initiate's eyes, transfixing him. We're not here to hurt you. If we wanted to kill you, you'd already be dead. You've lived on the streets. You know how this works. Slowly, the initiate seems to calm down. Yeah, you're right. But If you don't want to hurt anyone, why are you here? We just want to have a word with Marta. A private word between old friends. Understand? The initiate nods. Yeah, that's cool, I guess. Fuck. Tense. Talk to the female initiate. The initiate by the door is staring at Glory's limbs, her eyes wide. She's a mostly little thing, probably somewhere in the vicinity of 17 years old, with purple contact lenses and a shock of blue hair. She glances up at Glory, blinking. You used to live here, didn't you? I've seen your picture before. You shouldn't have been in that room. It isn't safe for initiates in there. It wasn't there. Please don't tell Marta or Mr. Harrow. I don't want to get in trouble. I won't. But to answer your question, yes, I did live here. And I was like you, a scared kid brought here by Marta for a chance at a new life. I like Marta. She's so nice. I always feel safe when I'm with her. Most adults aren't like that. They either don't notice you or they do for the wrong reasons. But Marta, she cares about us. There's a long pause, and then the initiate looks to you. Screwing up her courage, she speaks. Can I ask you a question? Go ahead. Well, I overheard Marta talking with Mr. Harrow yesterday. I think they were talking about our meeting with him. The one that Marta just told us about? Where we'll learn to see the world in a different way? Go on. Well, I couldn't hear the whole conversation. It was all muffled. But what I could hear was kind of weird. Mr. Harrow, he said stuff about a shrine, and then it sounded like he changed the subject because he started talking about dinner. Something about chopping up meat. Well, Marta got real upset. She said, they're too new, they're not ready. Make the older ones do it. Stuff like that. But then Harrow said some other things, and she calmed down again. When she left, she was smiling. So I was just wondering, do you know what they were talking about? I want to make sure that Marta's okay, but I can't ask her about it because I don't want her to find out that I was eavesdropping. Not sure, but I don't think they were talking about dinner, kid. She looks confused. No, but then what were they talking about? Glory cuts in, her voice is gentle. Don't worry about it, sweetie. We'll make sure Marta's okay. All right, but don't tell her I told you, please. Don't worry, we won't. How long have you been here, by the way? Almost a week. She shuffles her feet. Eventually, she looks up with a smile. It's wonderful. Of course it is. So much nicer than living on the street, isn't it? Glory's face is kind, but her tone is one of incredible sorrow. You'll be good, sweetie. Don't worry. We'll take care of Marta. The girl smiles sheepishly and steps back. As you pass by her on your way out the door, Glory shoots you a sidelong glance. I don't know for certain what Arrow has planned for these kids, but I do know one thing, whatever it is. We aren't going to let it happen. Agreed. Okay, so do we go through the yellow door or do we double back? I say we double back. Because there's a lot of shit here. Yeah, see, exactly, like medicine cabinet. Send this item to your stash. That's just a bathroom. Refrigerator. As you open the refrigerator door, a whiff of ammonia sticks in your nostrils. Watery light glints off the door's polished interior. The fridge is stacked full of large plastic bins, all tightly sealed and neatly labeled. It's hard to tell through the opaque plastic, but they appear to be full of meat. Inspect the containers. You pop off the lid of a container and take a closer look. The first thing that hits you is the smell. The meat here is beyond rancid. White mold frosts the sides of the bin, and it's all that you can do to keep from gagging. As you rush to put the lid back on, you recognize a familiar shape in the rotten meat. A mangled human hand. Is that what I think it is? Glory's voice is flat. Ritual supplies. The adversary reverse them aged. Harrow teaches all the initiates how to do it. How to harvest the meat. How to store it. How to label it. Nobody likes doing it at first, but you learn. By the end, it doesn't even bother you anymore. I think we just figured out what the Harrow is going to make those initiates do tomorrow. She nods grimly. I think you're right. And that means things have changed around here over the past few years. How so? The girl back there? She said she'd only been here for a week. Back when I lived here, Harrow would never have left such a fresh convert prepare a sacrifice. He'd wait until she was in so deep, until she felt so indebted to him that she couldn't turn tail and run. It was a rule to let newcomers get settled for a month, maybe 2, before teaching them more. The unsavory aspects of cult life. Even then, you start them slow. Their first lessons would use pork or chicken, never human meat. That didn't come until much later. Indoctrinating a new recruit after a week is risky as hell, and he would never have done it when I lived here. Do you think it's the shrine? Could he be using it to brainwash the initiates at an accelerated pace? She nods. That's what I'm thinking. Harrow's getting lazy, letting his captive spirit do all the heavy lifting. So what does that mean for us? I'm still working on that, but I don't think the shrine is just a tool for Harrow anymore. I think he relies on it. He's using it as a crutch. She cocks her head slightly, a thoughtful expression on her face. I think he let himself become dependent on the damn thing. Good. If the shrine's influence is the only thing keeping these kids here, it makes our job a lot easier. That we are agreed. Let's go talk to Marta and make sure we both have a lot to say. Okay. Got one more door to check. There are 2 things. A terminal. We don't have a decker. So that's not going to work. An ostentatiously large tome sits cradled on a pedestal. The paper is robust and fibrous, and the binding has been expertly stitched. A steel plate running along the book's spine anchors it to the pedestal. Lori stares down at it, frowning. Harrow's manifesto. The handcrafted line of bullshit that he feeds to his initiatives. We all ate it up with a smile and came away convinced that he was a genius. She leafs through the pages with an articulated finger. Looks like he's expanded it over the last few years. It's at least twice as thick as when I lived here. Maybe there's something in here we can use. I wouldn't want to hang around long enough to find out. This is Harrow's personal library. He used to experiment in here. There were dangerous things in here, Fox. Sick things. I was never allowed in this room without Harrow. Nobody was. He said it was for our safety, and I think he was telling the truth. She pauses. I feel uneasy being in here. I don't want to stay any longer than we have to. Let's take a look. Right. I'll watch your back, but try to be quick. Leaf through the beginning. You flip through the early pages of the manifesto, find what looks like a good place to jump in and start to read. When I first set out on the path of free living, I realized that I'd have to rethink all my earlier assumptions about life. I'd have to question my own values and beliefs. I'd need the strength to trust in the answers that came to me. The prospect was daunting, but it was also necessary. The road to true freedom is paved with unanswered questions. After all, we can't learn to be free from a book. The answers won't come from a Bible, an instruction manual, a code of conduct. If you don't learn that, you'll never break the chains. The path to true freedom is one that each of us must walk on his or her own. What makes life worth living? What in life is truly valuable? And what is dross that can be burned away? I spent weeks dissecting every aspect of my life to find the answers to these questions. Slowly, agonizingly, I pared down the list until only 4 items remained. These 4 items became the cornerstone of my new philosophy. The basis for everything the Feuerstelle stands for. Love, the first cornerstone, the most important. Without love, life is bland and meaningless. Without love, we might as well be machines. Love what you do. Love the people around you. But above all, love yourself. Self-determination, the second cornerstone. Each of us must be his or her own shepherd. No more gods, no more kings. Your life is your own. Lash out against anyone or anything who tries to treat you like property. Assault on your freedom is an assault on your whole being, and it must be met with equally ferocious response. Charity, the third cornerstone. A miserly life is an empty life. If each of us is our own master, then nobody should live as a serf. By helping others along the path to enlightenment, so do we enrich our own lives. Passion, the final cornerstone. Complacency is poison to be wary of. Ambition is the key to fulfilling life. Don't settle for what is. If you do, you abandon what could be. Hear a rustling sound behind you. Glory. Behind you. Glory. Turning. You hear a rustling sound behind you. Glory. Oh, I hear Glory rustling behind me. That's what it's trying to say. Turning, you see a troubled look on her face. The ominous feeling is getting stronger, Fox. I feel like we're being watched. Continue reading. Leafing through the middle of the book, you find a section dedicated to Harrow's rules for living. Be free. Be free in all things and experience that freedom with your whole being. Body, mind, and spirit. Discard the oppressive traditions of modesty and shame that you were indoctrinated with since birth. The free thinker has no use for them. Your body is a source of pride and pleasure and of succor for yourself and for others. Enjoy it and share that joy freely with those who desire it. Be selfish. Don't enslave yourself to others at your own expense. Take what you want and do so unashamedly. Our desires are important for part of what makes us human. Society has trained us to hide that part of ourselves from the world. But the free living person doesn't cower in the shadows. Own your desires. Rejoice in them. Selflessness is ultimately dishonest, and dishonesty has no place in a free society. Show reverence. The free person understands that the only true governance in the world is the law of nature, and that in nature there's a hierarchy. The rabbit doesn't question the wolf. The mouse does not wonder why it must run from the cat. They do because they must. Their survival depends on it. As it is in nature, so it is at Feuerstelle. Know your place in the food chain and understand the mechanisms by which you can better yourself. You leaf forward again. There are at least 20 more pages worth of rules. Each is worded vaguely enough to have multiple interpretations. You hear another rustling sound. Glory, moving behind you. She stares down at the rules of living, a look of disgust on your face. Getting the feeling the entire thing is written in doublespeak. I doubt there's a single statement in here that isn't contradicted somewhere else. She nods. A fact that Harrow and I use to our own advantage. We could justify just about anything by pointing to that manifesto. If an act is forbidden in one place, it's permitted somewhere else. If Initiate ever questioned our behavior, we could claim that he just didn't understand the meaning of the book, and that the other kids would look at him as the ignorant one. It was all bullshit, like I said. Clever bullshit, but bullshit all the same. Glory freezes up, her shoulders hunch and her eyes narrow. Fox. As that ominous feeling is getting closer. There's something in this room with us, I'm sure of it. We need to get out of here now. We're gonna keep going. The final pages of the manifesto devolve into semi-cohesive rants about anarchy, social Darwinism, free love, and the horned god. You've seen this kind of thing before. Harrow's philosophy is collapsing under its own weight. Fortunately, none of the cultists have caught on to that fact. Done. The philosophy of Harrow really starts to break down. Gloria lets out a startled cry. Cutting your sentence short, you go to the corner eye, you see her wheel to face something behind you. All at once, the room fills with a slaughterhouse smell. The smell of blood and bile and feces. The stench of an abattoir. As you turn, you catch sight of something sliding into the world. It looks like a charred man with a pair of tortured faces where the shoulders should be. The thing burns like a Roman candle, spitting white-hot sparks in a fiery plume. An oily substance runs down between its dangling legs, and splatters onto the floor. Where those drips land, they burn. Fox, look out! That's just a fire elemental. Pump. There we go. Body of the thing you attack begins to dissolve at the moment of death, as you watch its tissues break down into a growling slick of bubbling pitch and rendered fat. Why would I know what that is? It's clearly a spirit. What the hell was that? Something from another place. Laurie stares at the remains of the creature, now a dark stain on the library's floorboards. Like I said outside, the boundaries between the physical world and the actual space are weak here. Things can come through. I think we've gotten everything we're going to from the book. She nods. Let's get the hell out of here. We need to keep moving anyway. Well, you know what? That was perfectly fine because, well, we took damage. We never took too much damage that the dude does. What does she have? Inventory. Fox. Glory. Yeah, let's use this on Glory. Actually, no, cancel. Because Glory, if she uses that on herself, will do, like, heal way more than she needs to. And I just changed the window. So we're going to go see Marta. Marta is just on the other side of this door. However this goes, we're going to have to move forward quickly afterwards. If she dies, Hera will know it, and I don't trust her to keep her mouth shut if she lives. So we take the key to the shrine room, break through the ward, and confront the spirit. Are we clear on that? Crystal, let's do this. The woman in this room is lovely. Full lips contrast artfully with her fine elvish features, and a tumble of fire-red hair spoils down over her shoulder. Beyond her physical beauty, there's something inherently approachable about her. She exudes an almost palatable aura of kindness and warmth. Marta, Glory's old lover, the lure that Harrow used to draw her, and so many others to Feuerstelle. She looks up with a start at the sound of your approach. Her eyes go wide at the sight of Glory. As she takes in her cyberware, her mouth falls open in horror. Glory? Yes, Marta, it's me. It's been a long time. It has. Marta swallows. The horrified look hasn't left her face. Glory, what have you done to yourself? What I had to. I got out, Marta. This was the only way. Oh, Glory. All at once, the horror on Marta's face is replaced with an expression of profound sorrow. I'm so sorry. Marta steps forward, her arms extended to wrap Glory in a hug. All at once, something in Glory's face changes. Her skin goes from pale to pallid, her breath becomes ragged. She takes a step back and raises her claws in defensive posture. Don't you touch me. You're one of Hera's creatures, you always were. One of his creatures? Glory, what are you talking about? and say nothing. You know as well as I do. You worship that monster. You seduced me into coming here so that I would worship him. If you hadn't found me, if you hadn't baited me, none of this would have happened. None of what? I haven't done anything. If you just left me where you found me, I would have never hurt anybody. My mother would still be alive. I never would have sold my soul to that abomination you worship. I wouldn't have had to sacrifice my own body to escape it. This place took everything from me, and it all started with you. She looks genuinely hurt. Harrow and I rescued you from a life on the street. A beautiful girl, homeless, penniless, living in a gutter. I pulled you away from all of that. I saved you. There's a long pause. Glory stares into Marta's eyes. I don't feel much anymore, Marta. Most of the time, I'm completely numb. But for you, I can make an exception. I hate you. I'm sorry you feel that way, Glory. For my part, I still love you. The razors flick out of Glory's fingertips. Her lip curls into a snarl. Another lie. The last one you'll ever tell. I think we should hear her out. I'll prove it to you. Ask me anything you want. I'll show you I'm telling the truth. I never wanted anything bad to happen to you, Glory. Not ever. She wheels to face you. Why are you listening to her? She's just telling you what you want to hear. That's our whole purpose here. Remember, she's bait. Why should we listen to anything she has to say? Because of this. A photo that it was nailed to. If she was lying, she wouldn't have kept it all these years. Glory stares at it for a moment. The razors slide back into their housings with a click. All right, Marta. Convince me. Convince you of what? I'm not a monster. I don't know how to do that, Glory. You could start to tell me how you sleep at night. You know what happens to the kids that you bring here. You know what happened to me. And you're still luring them here into Harrow's clutches after all these years. So tell me, how do you live with yourself? Explain it to me. For a moment, you can see the conflict between Marta's eyes. If cognizant dissonance had a face, it would be hers. Confused, frightened, angry, at war with herself. For a moment, she struggles to speak. Then the whispering sensation that you felt outside the compound comes back, and her face changes. The muscles of her brow relax, and she appears to be at peace. Why are you asking me this, Glory? You already know the answers. The kids are here. They aren't being hurt. They're just walking the path to free, pure life. The shrine is whispering to her, Glory. I can feel it too. She's blissed out on it, like you said. Marta continues her joyful smile. Harrow is a great man. A prophet. True sacrifices had to be made, but what he brings in return is so much love, Glory. You remember? Glory grits her teeth and gives you a small nod. Yeah, you're right. For so many years living here, I don't know if she even knows what normal feels like anymore. She steps forward and grabs Marta by the shoulders, in a curiously soft gesture. Marta, if what you're saying is true, if you ever really did care for me, then please give me your key. It is important. She blinks. Key? Whatever you use to get past the wards outside of Harrow's shrine. I need it. Don't ask why. Just do it for me. You owe me that much. She looks momentarily conflicted, and the moment passes. No. Harrow said that I had to guard this. He told me that I could never take it off. I can't question one of Harrow's orders. It would be wrong. Don't you see anything ironic about a cult devoted to freedom and rebellion with a totalitarian leader? She blinks. Clearly she doesn't understand. Marta, if Harrow actually believed in the rules that he's taught you, he wouldn't have a problem with you questioning his orders. She blinks, and that whispering sound returns, soft and insistent. The flicker of unease on her face is replaced with an easy smile. You just don't understand. You don't see the beauty of Harrow's vision. You don't feel the love. Well, maybe you could explain it to me. She nods eagerly. Yes, please go and ask your questions, and I'll explain everything. And you'll see for yourself how perfect and right our way is. Okay. What do we got a lot of options here. The manifesto. Let's start with this. Long time talking about charity. Yes, of course, charity. The kind that I practice when I rescue young people from the streets. But then in the rules of living, it says that all free thinkers are supposed to be selfish. Yes, but... And after that, he says that only the strong deserve to prosper. So which is it? The confusion washes over her face again. She begins to blink agitatedly, fidgeting. And then that unseen force clamps down again, and she seems to calm. You just don't understand the beauty of his message, the truth behind it. Glory said you spent a lot of time in the lounge back when you lived here. What did you do here? She shrugs. The usual. Drink, play games, have sex, watch the trid. The sort of things lovers usually do in their free time. Why do you ask? Because we found a tattered, blood-stained shirt in there. It looked like it came from an initiated. Marta's forced smile fails. Her brow furrows. And suddenly she looks afraid. Well, that could have gotten there some other way. It doesn't prove anything. You know all the kinds of things that happen in that room, Marta. You've heard the stories. We both did. She shakes her head. I've never seen it, not myself. The stories are just stories, silly rumors. Harrow is hurting runaways you bring here. You can see that, can't you? Her smile shifts into an expression of mock concern. Hurting? How so? He's going to make the initiatives, the young initiatives like the girl in the next room, do something horrible. Her smile slowly fades. That girl, such a sweet young thing. I rescued her from a bad place, Glory. Her and the boys in the dorm as well. And they're all safe now. And isn't that what's important? Are they? You know what I'm talking about, Marta. The harvesting, the meat. Marta's forced smile falls. Brow furrows. Suddenly she looks afraid. It's wrong, I know. But Harrow says it has to happen. She looks up at you, desperate pleading. The sacrifices will keep us safe. That's what Harrow says. We have to do it. These kids, they deserve to be safe. Most of them have never been safe. They're sure as hell unsafe here, Marta. Haven't you ever asked yourself where the meat in the fridge comes from? It isn't all from outsiders, I can promise you that. Marta says nothing. She just sits there with her hands trembling. Give us the amulet, Marta. It's the right thing to do. Feel the whispering again. Marta shakes her head to clear the fog. You're right. Something strange is going on here. Things don't add up. I don't know why I've never seen it before. What is wrong with me? It isn't you. It is this place. It gets into your head. It took a lot more than this to wake me up to it. So will you give us the amulet? No. I can't go against Harrow's wishes. He told me to never take it off. And I won't. But I will come with you. If I can help save these kids from what's happening here, then that's what I have to do. That's what we're here for. In that case, let's move on to the shrine room. I'll get you through the door. I won't let any more children come to harm. Oh, fuck! That was emotionally fucking intense! Glory is easily my favorite member of the party. Like, hands fucking down. Marta? Are these friends of yours? Yes, dear, they are. We'll have to go... And now we break all of the seriousness by just turning into nonsense. We all need to go have a word with Harrow now. You go to bed. You have a big day tomorrow. Let's go fuck some shit up. Let's go fuck some shit up. As you step forward, the scintillating red light that streams from the doorway flickers and dies. There's a strange lurching sensation in your gut, but it clears almost instantly. The door swings open with a touch. That seems to have done it. Glory nods and then reaches into her satchel. Her hand comes out clutching a small jar. I'm going to smear this on your forehead. It's a sort of alchemical balm. Her voice goes quiet. Hera taught me how to make it. She unscrews the cap from the jar, revealing a pale white ointment. The surface glitters strangely in the dim light. If you've ever wondered where my share of the take from our job is gone, this is the answer. Powdered orichalcum is not cheap. Orichalcum? What's that? It's a chemical alloy. It's incredibly magical. Hellishly difficult to make and incredibly expensive. It's also the key ingredient in a lot of magical foci. And it is what makes the bomb react the way it does to astral energy. She dips a metallic finger into the jar. The boundaries between the material world and the astral plane are weak here. The stuff sort of acts like a lens. It focuses your perception, makes the haze real. Marta cuts in, her voice is full of wonder. It lets you commune with his servitors, the emissaries of our great master, the adversary. She applies a smear of ointment to her forehead. It looks like a glob of glittering white paint. Not the way I would have put it, but yes, with this, we can deal with the spirit on its own level. I've only ever done this with Hera before. He warned me never to try it without him. She shivers. There are strange things in this place we're about to visit. Whatever's waiting for us, we can handle it. She dips her finger back into the balm and traces it across your forehead. The ointment feels cool and oily on your skin. I know. She fishes in her bag for a second time and pulls out a pair of silver necklaces. A rune-inscribed pendant dangles from each. This will protect your astral self from spiritual possession. Don't take it off while we're dealing with the shrine, whatever you do. Got it. What about Marta? She touches a finger to the amulet that hangs around her neck. I'll be fine. This'll work just as well. Glory puts on her own pendant. The necklace glitters against her pale skin. I don't know what's going to happen when we step into that room, Fox. We're playing with forces outside of our control. Are you ready for this? I'm waiting for it ever since we got here. Marta smiles, her eyes glare in anticipation. I'm ready. Let's go then. Once we purify the spirit, we can see about rescuing those kids. Hera will get away, but we can worry about that later. Shit, I should have read that. That was impulsive. Calm down, Marta. Fox, you know that I agree with you in principle, but I have more reason to hate Hera than anyone, but I have any reason to suspect he isn't the real power here anymore. She goes from looking shocked to aghast, then her cheeks flush red. Feuerstelle belongs to Hera, Glory. You know that. Everything here is his. It used to be. But I think that he started relying on his shrine. He handed the spirit trapped inside of it the keys to the kingdom. She eyes Marta coolly. Your husband might think he's in charge here, but he isn't. Not anymore. He's a servant just like everyone else. The only difference is he doesn't know it. No, you're wrong, Laura. You don't know how wrong you are. If you want your precious Hera to survive the night, shut up and stop arguing with me. What I'm trying to say is, I disagree with Fox. If Hera isn't the real threat here, then we shouldn't prioritize killing him. We should try and rescue the cultists instead. Alright, noted. She nods. Yes, rather than killing the spirit, we can attempt to purify it. We'll clear its influence from their minds without hurting them. I think if we purify the spirit, Feuerstelle will die. We'll save all the kids and the nightmare will end. Do this your way. Thank you, Fox. I'd hate to do the wrong thing here. Now let's get moving. Since tonight. Well, as you approach the shrine, a chorus of high, sibilant voices fill the air. The sound is light and airy, but something about it fills you with a bone-deep dread. Welcome, Glory. Glory's eyes go wide. She opens her mouth to speak, but no sound escapes her. Glory, what? Something slams into you, a wave of intangible force that turns your consciousness inside out and sends shockwaves reverberating through your mind. The world lurches and everything goes black. Now, that's what I expected.